Imagine walking into your garden early in the morning. Sunlight glistening on rows of deep green strawberry leaves, each one crowned with clusters of plump red fruit. The air smells sweet, and you can't help but smile, knowing that your garden is producing 3 times more berries than last year. No chemicals, no expensive fertilizers, just simple, natural care. This isn't magic. It's about understanding what strawberries truly need and giving them the best possible environment to thrive. In this video, I'll show you the natural growing method that helps ordinary gardeners achieve extraordinary results. Richer soil, healthier plants, and a harvest that just keeps coming. Whether you're growing strawberries in a small backyard bed, hanging baskets on your balcony, or even inside a greenhouse, these techniques will work for you. You'll learn how to build living soil that feeds itself, how to boost fruiting naturally, and how to turn every plant into a miniature berry factory. By the end of this video, you'll know how to create the perfect conditions for your strawberries to flourish, and how to do it without a single drop of synthetic fertilizer or pesticide. So grab your gardening gloves, because we're about to unlock the secret to a truly abundant, chemical-free strawberry harvest. Before we talk about secret soil recipes or boosting yield, let's pause and truly understand what strawberries need to thrive. Strawberries are surprisingly sensitive plants. They reward careful attention, but only if their environment feels just right. The first thing they crave is sunlight, at least 6 to 8 hours every single day. Without that full dose of sunshine, the plants become weak, their fruit smaller and less sweet. If you notice pale leaves or thin stems, it usually means your strawberries aren't getting enough light. The second essential element is soil. Not just any dirt, but loose, rich, and well-drained soil filled with organic life. Strawberries hate wet feet. When soil holds too much water, the roots suffocate, and the plants are easily attacked by rot and fungus. The best soil feels soft and crumbly when you squeeze it in your hand, not sticky or compacted. Here's something most gardeners overlook. Strawberries have shallow roots. Almost 90% of their feeding roots live within the top 6 inches of soil. That means this top layer is the heart of your strawberry's world. If it's dry, compacted, or poor in nutrients, your plants can't reach what they need, no matter how much fertilizer you pour on. To create the perfect home for those roots, start by mixing organic compost into the top layer of your garden bed or container. Compost adds both nutrients and tiny living organisms that help break down organic matter. If you're planting in raised beds, aim for a blend of garden soil, compost, and coarse sand or perlite to keep the structure airy. Moisture management is another key. Strawberries like consistent, even moisture. Not soggy soil, but never completely dry either. A good rule of thumb is to keep the soil as damp as a wrung-out sponge. Check it regularly by pressing your finger into the soil. If the top inch feels dry, it's time to water. Morning watering is best, so the leaves have time to dry before evening, reducing the risk of mildew. Finally, strawberries are happiest in slightly acidic soil with a pH between 5.5 and 6.5. You can test this easily with a small soil test kit. If your soil is too alkaline, mix in pine needles, peat moss, or a bit of elemental sulfur to gently lower the pH over time. So, what's the big takeaway here? The secret to strong strawberry plants isn't found in any single fertilizer or product. It's about balance, sunlight, drainage, organic matter, and the right soil texture. Get these fundamentals right, and you've already done 80% of the work toward a bigger harvest. In the next section, we'll uncover the true secret that turns this healthy foundation into explosive growth. How to feed the soil, not the plant, and build a living ecosystem that keeps producing sweet red berries all season long. Now that you know what strawberries need to survive, let's talk about how to help them thrive. Here's the real secret of big harvests. Don't feed the plant, feed the soil. Most gardeners make the same mistake. They reach for store-bought fertilizers, thinking more nutrients will mean more fruit. But that's not how nature works. Strawberries evolved in forest edges and meadows, where they're nourished by decaying leaves, microorganisms, and the steady cycle of life beneath the surface. When you feed the soil, you're not just adding nutrients, you're creating a living community. Think of your soil as a city full of workers, bacteria, fungi, worms, and tiny insects. These unseen helpers break down organic matter and turn it into the perfect plant food, right where your strawberries need it. So, how do we support this living system? Start with compost or worm castings. Every 2 weeks during the growing season, sprinkle a thin layer, just ½ an inch, around your plants. Don't dig it in. Simply let the rain or watering carry those nutrients downward. Compost adds the big three: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, but also hundreds of trace elements and beneficial microbes. Next, apply a natural mulch. Straw is the classic choice. It keeps the soil cool, holds moisture, and adds organic matter as it breaks down. Pine needles, shredded leaves, or even cocoa husks also work beautifully. The key is to cover the soil lightly while leaving a small gap around each plant's crown so it doesn't stay wet. This mulch layer acts like a natural blanket, feeding your soil life and preventing weeds at the same time. And here's another powerful habit. Stop tilling deeply. When you dig or turn the soil too much, you destroy the networks of fungi and bacteria that connect your plant's roots to nutrients. Instead of heavy tilling, just loosen the top inch or two with a hand fork. Over time, this no-dig approach builds structure, retains water, and makes your garden soil more alive every season. You'll know it's working when you start seeing earthworms, crumbly soil, and that rich, earthy smell. Signs that your underground ecosystem is thriving. Your strawberries will respond with stronger growth, darker green leaves, and more blossoms. For an extra boost, you can add a small handful of natural amendments like bone meal or kelp powder in spring. These provide calcium, phosphorus, and micronutrients that enhance fruit flavor and firmness. But always remember, these are small supplements, not replacements for organic matter. Feeding the soil is about creating long-term fertility. It's slower than pouring liquid fertilizer, but it builds something far more valuable: resilience. With living, healthy soil, your strawberries can handle dry spells, temperature swings, and pests far better than chemically fed plants. So, as you care for your strawberries, think less like a farmer applying fertilizer and more like a caretaker nurturing an ecosystem. In the next part, we'll build on this living foundation and explore natural tonics that take your strawberries from healthy to explosively productive. Compost tea, seaweed extracts, and the simple feeding schedule that keeps your plants thriving all season long. Now that your soil is alive and full of energy, it's time to give your strawberries an extra boost, naturally. Think of this stage as nurturing, not forcing. You're not pushing the plants to grow faster. You're helping them express their full potential through gentle, natural support. The first and most powerful tonic you can use is compost tea. It's easy to make and costs almost nothing. Take a small bucket, fill it with water, and add a shovelful of mature compost. Stir in a spoonful of molasses. This feeds the beneficial microbes, and let it bubble with an aquarium air pump for about 24 hours. The result is a living liquid full of bacteria, fungi, and micronutrients. When sprayed on leaves or poured at the base, it strengthens the plant's immune system and improves nutrient uptake. Apply compost tea every 2 weeks during the active growing season. You can spray it on the leaves in the early morning or evening when the sun is soft. If you prefer, pour it directly around the roots. It's safe, effective, and completely organic. Another natural booster that works wonders is seaweed extract. Seaweed contains over 60 trace minerals, natural growth hormones, and amino acids that help plants resist stress. Mix 1 teaspoon of seaweed concentrate per gallon of water and apply it once or twice a month. You'll notice thicker stems, darker leaves, and stronger roots, all signs of a balanced, thriving plant. For gardeners who want to go one step further, there's fish emulsion, a classic natural fertilizer that provides gentle nitrogen for leafy growth. Use it sparingly, no more than once a month, and always dilute it well. It's especially useful in early spring when your strawberries are building foliage. But nutrition isn't the only way to boost growth. The plant's neighbors matter too. Strawberries love companion planting. When grown near herbs like basil or flowers like borage, they benefit from natural pest control and improved pollination. Leafy greens such as lettuce or spinach make excellent companions as well. They provide ground cover, keeping soil moist and cool. Avoid planting strawberries near cabbage or kale, though. Those can compete for nutrients. And don't forget about airflow and spacing. Overcrowded plants can trap humidity, inviting mold and pests. Aim to keep about a foot between each plant and gently trim any excessive leaves that block sunlight from reaching the fruit. Together, these practices create a natural rhythm. Compost tea feeds the microbes. Seaweed strengthens the plant. And good airflow keeps everything healthy. It's a system where nature supports itself. No chemicals, no stress. Within a few weeks of following this routine, you'll notice a visible transformation. Lush, deep green foliage, sturdy stems, and blossoms that lead to heavy clusters of fruit. Your strawberries will be stronger, tastier, and more resilient than ever before. In the next section, we'll take things even further. You'll learn how to maximize fruit production through pruning, pollination, and watering techniques that ensure every flower turns into a perfect, juicy strawberry. By this point, your strawberries should be strong, healthy, and full of life. You've built a living soil, fed it naturally, and watched your plants grow thick and green. But now comes the most exciting part, turning all that healthy growth into an explosion of fruit. The first step in maximizing production is pruning. Strawberries send out runners, long, thin vines that creep along the soil and try to form new baby plants. It's their natural way of spreading, but those runners steal precious energy from the mother plant. When your goal is fruit, not foliage, you need to keep that energy focused. Once your main plants are established and producing flowers, trim off most of the runners. Leave 1 or 2 if you want new plants, but remove the rest. This simple act can increase your berry yield by up to 40%. Next, let's talk about leaf management. Old, yellowing, or damaged leaves not only make the plant look tired, they also block airflow and attract mold. Every few weeks, inspect your plants and remove any leaves that touch the soil or show signs of disease. This keeps air moving freely and reduces the risk of fungus, especially in humid climates. Then comes one of the most overlooked yield boosters of all: pollination. Strawberries rely on bees, butterflies, and wind to carry pollen between their tiny flowers. But if you're growing in a greenhouse or an area with few pollinators, you can step in. Use a small soft paintbrush or cotton swab to gently touch the center of each flower, moving pollen from one to the next. It takes only a few minutes, but it can increase fruit size and uniformity dramatically. A single missed pollination can mean a misshapen berry, so this step is worth it. Of course, even perfect pollination won't help if your plants are stressed. That's why watering is crucial. Strawberries have shallow roots and need consistent moisture, not soaked, but never dry. Aim to water deeply 2 or 3 times a week, depending on weather. Drip irrigation or a gentle soaker hose is ideal, delivering moisture directly to the roots without wetting the leaves. Always water in the morning so the plants dry before nightfall. As your berries begin to form, keep an eye on mulch maintenance. Make sure your straw or leaf layer remains fresh and thick enough to protect fruit from direct contact with the soil. This prevents rot and keeps berries clean and shiny. Finally, support the fruiting stage with gentle feeding. A light compost top dressing or a diluted seaweed spray once every 2 weeks will provide just enough nutrients to sustain heavy production without overwhelming the plant. Within a few weeks, you'll start seeing the results: larger berries, more uniform ripening, and richer flavor. Your plants will look balanced, strong but not overgrown, full but not crowded. This is the reward for patient, consistent care. Remember, maximizing production isn't about pushing your strawberries harder. It's about guiding their natural rhythm. Prune for focus, pollinate with care, water wisely, and maintain harmony between growth and rest. In the next and final section, we'll celebrate the fruits of your labor, the harvest. I'll show you how to pick strawberries at peak sweetness, how to store them for freshness, and how to keep your plants producing year after year. After weeks of care and attention, this is the moment every gardener waits for: harvest time. Your plants are loaded with ripe, red berries that shine like jewels beneath the leaves. The best time to harvest strawberries is early in the morning, while the air is still cool and the berries are firm. Pick only the ones that are fully red all the way to the tip. Strawberries don't continue ripening once they're picked. Gently grasp each berry between your fingers and twist, leaving a short piece of stem attached. This helps them stay fresh longer and prevents bruising. Place your berries carefully in a shallow basket, instead of piling them into a deep container. They bruise easily under their own weight. Avoid washing them until you're ready to eat or store them. Excess moisture can shorten their shelf life. If you've followed the natural methods we've explored, building living soil, feeding it organically, and encouraging balance, you'll notice the difference right away. Your strawberries will be larger, sweeter, and more aromatic than anything grown with synthetic fertilizers. And your soil will keep improving year after year, making each harvest better than the last. After harvesting, don't forget to care for the plants. Remove old leaves, trim any remaining runners, and refresh the mulch. Healthy strawberry plants can keep producing for 3 to 5 years if treated well. And now, take a moment to enjoy your reward: fresh, sun-warmed strawberries picked by your own hands. There's nothing quite like it. If this video helped you grow better berries, share it with a fellow gardener and let us know in the comments how your harvest turned out. Don't forget to subscribe for more natural gardening tips. And remember, when you feed the soil feeds you. Until next time, happy gardening, and may your next strawberry season be your sweetest yet.